Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. All right, we're so excited that you're joining us today. And as you can see, the title for today's talk is going to be Colorblind or Colorful? Which one is it? Well, we're going to find out when we get Reverend Elizabeth here. But right now, I'm so excited because all the way from Columbus, Ohio, where it is humid. I've got Jesse Powers here, the amazing Jesse Powers. We love your music, Jesse. We're so excited to have you today. And I just want to tell everybody to please either share this on Facebook right now, start a watch party. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be enlightening. Or we also have our YouTube feed. So if you're watching on YouTube, share that. And if you have friends who aren't on Facebook, you can have them go to our YouTube channel, Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, and they're going to find us there. So without further ado, I'm going to have Jesse start us off with one of my favorite songs. I'm excited to have you play, Jesse. So take it away.
Sure thing. Thanks, Gina. This one is for the goddess in us all, because we all have a goddess inside. Even men. Okay? Just accept it. I know what's behind that smile. I know you're tired. Spend your life trying to be everything to everyone. And I know that look in your eyes, 'cause I've seen it in the mirror 1,000 times. That's the face of a woman who doesn't understand how much she's loved. And then the TV tells me I should be like her, achieve like her, to earn the affection I so desperately need. But the people who love me best don't expect me to save the world, no. They regard me as a goddess and they always give me love for free. And they say, you are what you are, and that's all you'll ever need. Strong like a warrior and soft as a sunbeam. Everything you've ever been and everything you'll ever be is holy, 'cause you are a goddess, baby. Good morning, goddess within us all. It's hard enough to be just me, rule my world from a place of reverie, forgive myself unconditionally and learn from my mistakes. But then the movies tell me I should look like her and laugh like her. If I'm a quiet beauty, all will surely fall in love with me. But the people love me best like the way I laugh, and they don't care what I wear. They rather see me loud and proud than stay polite and pretty. And they say, you are what you are, and that's all you'll ever need. Fierce like a warrior and soft as a sunbeam. Everything you've ever been and everything you'll ever be is holy, 'cause you are a goddess, baby. Now this next part, I want you to turn inside and talk to that goddess that is within you, that wants to come out and be free. And give that goddess permission. Ready? This is a love note to that goddess. You are the sun and the moon. You are the earth and the sky. You are the one who answers the prayers that you're laying down late at night. You are the undefinable and the one who is desperate to define. You are the one you've been waiting for. You are the love of your life. You are what you are, and that's all you'll ever need. Fierce like a warrior and soft as a sunbeam. Everything you've ever been and everything you'll ever be is holy, 'cause you are holy, and your life is holy, and your days are holy, and your mind is holy, and your body is holy, and your tears are holy, and your laugh is holy, and your love is holy. You are a goddess, baby. You are my goddess, baby. You are, you are, you are, you are. You are, you are, you are, you are. You are, 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 you are my goddess, baby.
Yes, you are the goddess, baby. Woo!
Thank you, so are you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're so happy that you're here with us again today, Jessie. Yay, Jessie. All right. And good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Raleigh, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And I would like to welcome you to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. If you'll now take, oops. Wow, I was on autopilot for a moment there. We have an affirmation that I will read, and I invite you to please repeat after me. The nature of God's great creation is one of diversity.
The nature of God's great creation is one of diversity.
I am not colorblind.
I am not colorblind.
I see the colorful, wonderful, and mystical variances expressed uniquely as each one of us.
I see the colorful, wonderful, and mystical variances expressed uniquely as each one of us.
It is so good.
It is so good.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Woohoo! All right. And I will now turn it over to Travis, who will tell you a little bit about Jessie, our musician for today. Oh, boy.
Good morning. All right. That's right. My name is Travis, and I am the music director here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. Our music program has blossomed in 2020 with dynamic artists like our beloved Jessie Powers. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Jessie Powers is a conscious indie pop musician based in Columbus, Ohio. Her perceptive, penetrating lyricism, soulful vocal stylings, and powerhouse pop melodies combine to create a deeply emotional, but oh so catchy sound that entertains, awakens, and profoundly heals those who listen closely. Jessie's music has been described as real, raw, down to the heart catalyst, divinity described, captivating, like emotional surgery. Check out her website for more information at www.jessiepowersmusic.com. You can also find her and friend her on Facebook and Instagram. Search for jessiepowersmusic.com. And I know that she will really appreciate some love here in the love stream comments. So if you're on Facebook watching us right now, please give her some love. It is without further ado and great honor on my part and on our part to welcome the wonderful Jessie Powers. Take it away, Jessie.
Thank you, Travis. Whoever wrote that really likes me. Just kidding. It was me. I really do like me. Not all the quotes, though. Speaking of liking yourself and others, I'm going to speak about how when you really truly love something, it's not about changing it. So, let's breathe into that energy of unconditional acceptance and love. You've got a heart like water, warm and clear. It's like I'm staring in a mirror, and it tells me things I'm afraid to hear. All this time I've been living just to show you how. Turns out you don't need saving, and you never did changing anybody else. 'Cause it ain't love if you can't show yourself. Your words are glass, utterly breakable, and I see right through them. Oh, you try to hide, but I know you too well. Or do I? Or do I? And I try to be different, but I can never be different enough. 'Cause love ain't about changing. Love ain't about changing. Love ain't about changing or changing anybody else. 'Cause it ain't love if you can't show yourself. Who are you behind what I can see? Who are you beyond what I wish you could be to me? And have I ever really loved you? Or have I only loved my pain? It took me years, but now I realize they are not the same. Ooh. And love ain't about changing. No, love ain't about changing. Love ain't about changing or changing anybody else. Or changing anybody else. Don't go changing anybody else. Ooh. 'Cause it ain't love if you can't show yourself.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jesse. All right. Good morning, CSL. My name is Travis, and I will be today's announcements angel. And I will now read our mission statement. With everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just have to have a spiritual center. Want to check us out? Yeah. Right. Okay, and I would love to invite you to our coffee and conversation at 11 a.m.ish this morning via Zoom. Gina will provide the link in the comment section here, and you can also find it on our center's webpage in the Coffee and Conversation event. Next up, we build our immunity in spiritual community. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via Zoom for our spiritual check-in call. All are welcome. You can find the link to that in our Facebook page under events. The grief group continues for the next 3 Tuesdays from 10 a.m. Pacific Time to 12 p.m. There's no fee to attend, and love offerings will be accepted. This is facilitated by our beloved Reverend Diane. And so be sure to email info@ccccsl.org if you're interested in attending, and we will email the Zoom link to you. All right. Next Sunday's musician is the beautiful Gary Lynn Floyd. He just released his new My 88 Keys Volume 2, Quarantine. And so he's our featured musician next week. And next Sunday's guest speaker is the wonderful, beautiful Reverend Sharon Dunn. That's great. Reverend Elizabeth will be speaking to this a little bit more. That's going to be next Sunday's Love Stream. Reverend Sharon Dunn and Gary Lynn Floyd. Holy smokes. All right. And next up, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you and also you can cruise over to our Facebook page, and if you haven't already done this, and hit like there. And if you would like to be signed up for our newsletter, you could also send a request from our webpage. There's a little link on there. Oh, it'll pop up. Oh, good, cool. All right, and next up, I'm going to do a little raise and praise. I haven't done this yet, but I definitely want to raise and praise all of you, our beloved community, for donations to our center. Wow. We really appreciate you. The annual pledges that help with our budgets for the year, the monthly PayPal donations. I'm on a monthly auto PayPal donation, which is really helpful. And then also the donations that come in through the Facebook Love Stream, the PayPal, received mailed check donations. All of your donations are, really helps. Our operations are fully supported by this generosity, and we're looking forward to gathering at our physical center in the future. We just love and appreciate you all. So raise and praise all of the donations. Thank you so much. And with that, my beloveds, we love you. We appreciate you. And we can't wait to hug you. But until then, I'm sending the virtual hug.
Virtual hug.
Woo! We love you. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to step out of the frame.
And before you step out, I'm just going to take this opportunity to remind you all, if there is something that is heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe there's something you're looking to manifest in your life, you can send a prayer request to info@cccsl.org, and our prayer team will pray over those for you for the next week. And they will get forwarded on to the prayer team from that email. So info@cccsl.org. And now I would love to turn it over to our beloved Charlie for the Science of Mind reading.
Well, thank you very much. The title for me this week is Listen to Your Heart. As I recognize spirit breathing itself as me, I recognize that my life is spirit expressing, being, living this experience that is called my life. I align with the perfect union of love and law, working together side by side, love and law in this space of harmony. I listen to my heart as the voice celestial sings. From this song, I feel the resonating and reverberating throughout my entire being. I consciously and compassionately create a world that works for all. I create in my mind's eye a world that works for all, and knowing that manifestation springs forth from consciousness, I actively create it by choosing to see it, think it, feel it, speak it, and live it. My heart, my feelings, that intuitive knowing is right now guiding me to a world that works for all. How grateful I feel to accept the call of my heart's song, the song of creation, singing itself into being. How appreciative I am for what is seen, unseen, and yet to be seen. Being ever open at the top, knowing what I see in my mind is already in God's mind, because there is only one mind, and that mind is God. And so I choose, just as all Science of Mind followers do, to practice. This is the legacy of what Science of Mind and Spirit teaches, what this philosophy offers, invites, and calls forth, and I surrender into it. There is only one life. That life is God. That life is living, breathing, and being all that I am, creating a new world that works for all. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Charlie. And let's just take those beautiful words of Charlie, his energy, his vibration, as we move into our time of prayer. And as we move inward this morning, I recognize the presence of spirit right here and right now. And we allow our breath to simply breathe for us. We stop all worries. We stop all thinking. We just stop and be right here. As our breath takes us in an inward journey into the outward, as we expand our breath, expanding it into a fuller heart, expanding into a fuller love, expanding our consciousness, expanding it out into the cosmos and beyond, and back right here to us. It is in this inner spaciousness that we each feel the divine within each of us. It is the loving spirit that moves in and through all of us and in life. It is the center of our beingness. It is a reservoir of our life that is always full, always giving, and there's more than enough for each of us as we share with our brothers and sisters. And as we each expand our circle of inclusion, I marvel at all the uniqueness around us. I marvel at the fullness, at the brightness, at the wonderment, at the creativity that I see in all of life. It is magical. It expands my soul. It is refreshing to be in the midst of it right here and right now in our lives. And today, every door is open to us. Not today, but always. And nothing can go forth from us but goodness, but love, harmony, and peace. And our doors are open to each of you. We are so blessed to have you with us this morning as we share in our sacred service of music, of prayer, and the word. And Jessie, who brings her light, her music, her heart, her blessings to each of us, her gifts with that boundless energy that I know inspires me and wants to make me dance. What a blessing, a gift she is to us today. And I'm grateful for all of us that are in sacred service, Travis and Gina and Charlie and myself, as we allow our light to shine right to each and every one of you. And I'm grateful for Reverend Elizabeth, our spiritual leader at our center, as she is in tune and in flow with the divine. She speaks from that knowingness, that wonderment of her creativity that percolates within her heart and in her mind, sending forth to each of our hearts, knowing that we can dip back in any time and hear her talk again, hear her inspiration. It is opening, it is filling, it is radiant. It changes our energy. What a blessing she is. And I have special prayers right now for Travis and Reverend Elizabeth as they move into their wedding bliss this week, as they take those vows between the two of them, knowing that we are surrounding them and uplifting them with such love for this new journey as they begin as husband and wife. And I also give special blessings to those in our congregation and out in the world that may be struggling right now with finances, health issues, COVID, or whatever is in their experience, knowing that we are here to support you and to love you. We are here to guide you and journey through whatever challenges you are going through. Just reach out to us. We are here for you. And I am so blessed that we have these love angels during the week, Mama Jody and Karen, that opens their heart to create a safe and loving and nurturing space that we can all go to during the week and check in and feel grounded and know that we are still connected regardless of what the outside conditions may appear to be. So I simply breathe. I'm peaceful. I'm calm. I'm colorful. And I am joyful as I release my prayer into the unity of oneness, into the service today. And we say all together, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much, Reverend Diane. That was beautiful. So we're going to get in that peaceful, joyful, grateful, playful spirit, as we always do when I come and visit. So we're going to start off. Let's start off with peaceful, because I'm feeling peaceful after that prayer. I woke up this morning peaceful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning peaceful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. Joyful. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. And I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Let's be grateful. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. I'm gonna pick it up. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. Get dancing. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. Yeah, get it. It's the greatest thing about my life. Okay, all right, this is the playful one. So everybody get as playful and weird as you can be. Ready? I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I sleep. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I sleep. Let's do a dog. I woke up this morning, woof 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 woof. Woof 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 woof. Dance break. I woke up and I was playful. I woke up and I was grateful, and it was so great. And I'm gonna fall asleep that way. Because I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Sing it. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Keep singing. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Keep going. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. One more time, yeah. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Two more times, sorry. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. It's the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing about my life. One more time. It's the greatest thing about my life. Meow, meow, woof, woof, woof.
Thank you. We love you. You're so much fun, Jessie.
I love you guys.
Wow. Yay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Raleigh, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And we are broadcasting to you today live from San Luis Obispo. Travis and I are here in our condo, and we currently have power, and I know there's some rolling power outages going throughout California. So We're looking forward to a continuous service here with you today. And if something happens, that's just the way it is. We'll catch you on the next one in that case. And I'm so grateful to have Jessie here. What a blessing, right? She's from Ohio, right? At Columbus, Ohio. And then we've got Charlie, of course, in Atascadero, Reverend Diane in Los Osos, and Gina over in Paso Robles. So we're so blessed to have this opportunity to collaborate. And I see several of you posting comments. If you're watching, would you please just put something in the comment section so we know that you stopped by? You can just say hello or like or send a love or whatever it is. That way we know you're here. And I'm so grateful I'm alive. It's really a great day to be alive, isn't it? Wow, it's so true. We've been birthed into this existence for such a time as this, and we are souls with bodies. And so I love every song that Jessie sang. It was just so perfect about loving ourselves and loving that goddess within us, which is God, the feminine aspect of spirit. Yes. So it's all good, man. It's all God. And I am especially grateful today as as you heard in the prayer, thank you, Reverend Diane, that Travis and I will be getting married on Friday, the 21st. And so we are moving sort of into that zone, and then we'll have a week off and we'll be on our staycation honeymoon as we're experiencing COVID-19, and we're just going with the flow, so that's pretty much all you can do. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but hey, what about, it's like if the world wasn't feeling apocalyptic enough, how about thunder, lightning, and then temperatures of like 90s and 100s, right? Did you all experience that yesterday? I know those of you in the Central Coast area did, but what a trip, yes? And it's the first week of, I'm sorry, it's not the first week of anything. It is August 16th. We're in the third week of August. Wow, third Sunday already. And so the theme for this month is inclusion and action. And the topic for today, August 16th, is colorblind or colorful. And so I'm looking forward to reviewing that with you. But I want to talk a little bit about my experience. I have more lessons from living in this pandemic and living through this time that we're here together, walking this planet together. And so what's been occurring for me is the importance and necessity to be flexible. And part of that realization had to do with the wedding that we had planned. We had a ceremony and this amazing reception over in Pismo Beach, and we had 125 guests, and we had Gary Lynn Floyd, Floyd Lula. So Gary Lynn Floyd and Jamie Lula were going to be our wedding musicians, and we planned this beautiful, amazing experience, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting to see if it would be able to happen, but it continued to look like, yeah, this is not going to happen. They're starting to close down again, and the case numbers are still growing. And so we made the decision to actually push the ceremony and the reception out to 2021. And then we decided that we would still get married on Friday, August 21st with a small, less than 10 people and with our masks. And so we're going to do that. And that was a huge lesson for me in being flexible. It's like, how often have you in your life thought that everything, or it had to be a certain way, like it had to look a certain way? And this can happen with just anything in life, really, and you can plan for things and then something happens, It doesn't mean that you don't plan it and you don't continue to go on dreaming and dwelling in possibility. You plan it and then you go with the flow, right? You just have to roll with it. And so rolling with it feels easier. There's a sense of grace and there's an ease that comes with it, and it's a peacefulness in your mind and in your heart. And what keeps coming up for me is that Saint Teresa of Avila prayer that says, let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you, everything is changing, God is changeless, patience attains the goal, and whoever has God lacks nothing, for God alone suffices. So what that is for me is a reminder to always return to the presence of God within me, which is difficult at times, right? Especially in trying times when you can have the tendency of getting stuck in your mind and in thoughts and all of this. So that's one of the big lessons that I wanted to share today and remind everyone to really be flexible. And the second is spending time with family. And I loved how last week the topic was, what was the topic last week? It was, who are we? And then I had Ohana, that was a download from Spirit to me. And we talked about how Ohana means family in Hawaiian, and it has some different meaning for us. There was an acronym that came in about observing the diversity and then honoring the qualities that are unique to self and others, and admiring the situation as you would admire a stained glass window of the beautiful church in Kauai that like I experienced, which is a sense of respect. You have an admiration and deep respect for it, and noticing in yourself what actually arises while you're observing, honoring, and admiring other people and the differences and the beautiful, unique qualities, and then appreciating that full worth of the self and others, the big picture, appreciating the full worth that there's more happening than just what's here in my own mind and in my own body. There's this vast, magnificent experience, and being present to that and appreciating all of it, that's huge. And so we were talking about Ohana, and that was wonderful. The week before that, I talked about let's get together and feel all right. And we looked at unconscious bias and how that affects our lives. And specifically, I spoke to the landmark education concept of rackets and how you can be running a racket and it's just like a waste of energy. And so when you're running a racket, you have a persistent complaint about a person, place, an organization, right? You have this persistent complaint, and there's a payoff and there's a cost associated with running that racket. So usually the payoff is that you get to be right. This person never does this. This organization is always like that. Well, you get to complain about it and you get to be right. But there's also a cost associated, and the cost is sort of the wall that goes between your thinking mind actually and your heart, right? Because in your heart, I think we all want to experience love and connection and bliss, harmony, joy, wisdom, right? Abundance, all of that. And when you're just focused on being right with your persistent complaint about someone, then what's happening is you're cutting yourself off. You experience a loss of affinity is what that means. So you don't get to feel the love. And it's like this hamster wheel that you're running on that is just spinning and spinning, but going nowhere. And so what the invitation is to let go of those rackets. You can identify when you're running a racket and then stop it. And the best way to stop it is like to take it all the way, and notice yourself and notice how silly that it sounds, and see and be present to all of the mental energy that you're putting into that one little racket, So that was the first week. And now here we are in the third week in colorblind or colorful. And so be flexible, spend time with family, and kind of jumping all around here. Sorry about that. And then the third item was stay close to God. We want to stay close to God through our spiritual practice. during this time that's so crucial for me specifically. Staying close, meaning taking the time for prayer, meditation, to quiet the mind and to become receptive and available to spirit, especially when we're in the midst of these major growth spurts, right? So I've been experiencing there's been like 3 growth spurts on different levels, with ministry, with my relationship with Travis, and in my life with relationships with family and such. And it's a lot, you know, these are big life-changing transformations. And so I'm noticing, and you may be noticing this too, while we're in this pandemic, there's so much more time to see things as they are and to really look at things. And so I'm really beginning to see things that I don't know, I just didn't see before, or I didn't see it exactly as it was. And so suddenly I'm seeing things as they are, and I'm adjusting. I'm required to adapt. I'm required to allow transformation to occur. And what happens for me is I have this weird tendency to want to hold on to the way it was. You know, like if you picture the scene, you know, you're like whitewater rafting, and you're supposed to be going down the river with the flow of the rapids, but you find a tree and you just hold on to the tree, and everybody's like, come on, this is fun. You know, you gotta go, you gotta let go of the tree. And you're not letting go. It's like you're just, and it's so fascinating because it's like, what is that? There's some fear maybe. And so this is a resonant piece with me too, because there's so much fear of the unknown, and there's been so much facing the unknown. Like in my walk since March, how long has that been? 3 months? No, 4 months. 4 months. March, 5 months. Yeah. March was the 3rd month of the year, and we're in August. So the last 5 months, right? And so it's like a constant adapting and putting my trust in the unknown and getting comfortable in the unknown. And so it's just a reminder that everything is always changing. Everything is always changing, you know? And so I love that I can remember that we are all called to adapt. We're just called to adapt. And one of the, you guys have all heard of survival of the fittest, I know, but I believe that survival of the fittest is really about who can adapt the best. Who can adapt? And so to adapt, we must become less rigid in our ways. We must be willing to let go of the shore to move out into the river of life. And there are new ways of living and moving through the world that I'm experiencing, and that we're all experiencing as we continue to move through this pandemic together. You know, we're wearing masks everywhere. We are not allowed to congregate. I mean, we probably could congregate, but we're choosing not to congregate because we all want to be safe and healthy, and we want our friends and family and loved ones to all be safe and healthy. But I don't think it was our first choice, right? So we are constantly building this new normal. And as we constantly build this new normal, we're called to practice a few additional items. For myself, this is what I'm up to. And so it came through as another acronym. I love these acronyms because they're words. And the acronyms were: don't be red, instead give it some gas. Don't be red, instead give it some gas. And so red is resistance. And so what I noticed is that anytime I'm resisting something, I get weepy. I cry, like wailing, crying, because it's resisting, right? And then when I'm exhausted, I get weepy again, really weepy. That's the E. And then dwelling in sympathy. So whenever I resist, or I get really tired, or I tend to dwell in sympathy, what does that mean? Well, that means dwelling in like, oh, it's just so sad, or, oh, you know, it just feels so sorry for the way it's happening. And dwelling in that is not productive for anybody, self or others, right? Because we're called to maybe empathize and walk a mile in the shoes and then move into whatever next action we're called to take. So don't be red, give it gas instead. And gas is gratitude. So finding the beauty in the moment, maybe you'll even laugh, right? And acceptance. So to be in acceptance to me is it's liberating, right? You're in this experience of liberation, and there's a mental freedom to be in this love and gratitude. And then there's the surrender, which is to yield to spirit. And that's talking to God and saying, okay, God, walk with me. You know, I'm here and I'm experiencing this, and walk with me. And so that is, don't be red. Instead, give it some gas, or give it gas instead. So red again is resistance, exhaustion, and dwelling in sympathy. And gas is gratitude, acceptance, and surrender. Those seem to be the three key things that I'm taking out of this experience and into our wedding and into our staycation honeymoon, and as we move forward from here. So I also have been really enjoying our book of the month. I'm not sure if any of you have purchased this book, but it's called Everyday Ubuntu, and it's Living Better Together the African Way by Mungi Ngomane. I may not be pronouncing that correctly, but Everyday Ubuntu. And it's fabulous. First of all, it's got these thick, glossy pages, which make it fun to flip through. If you're a book lover like I am, Karen Robert, I know that you will be interested in that one. So Ubuntu is a South African word and philosophy, which means I am because we are. Now, this philosophy says that there is a universal bond that connects us all. And so we can experience and express this Ubuntu by noticing and by living and being in that space of Ohana, right? And I loved, I just flipped it open yesterday. It came to this one page that had the word Sawubona. And Sawubona is a Zulu word, which means I see you. We see you. And it is said to be similar to hello and namaste. Sawubona. And so, my friends, I say Sawubona to you. I see you. You know, whatever you're going through, whatever you're experiencing, you are so loved, you know. And so back to the topic for the day. All of that was on my heart and wanting to be expressed. And then the topic for today is what's the topic? Colorblind or colorful? Yes. And so the reason for this context was really considering that you're looking at a beautiful garden that has flowers with many different colors and textures and heights, and having this garden, but not being able to see the variations in color because you are actually literally colorblind. And what would that experience be like? You know, that would be kind of dull. And so we're called to really recognize this gift that we have to see the color and to see the different unique traits and magnificence of every individual, all of the people and the flowers in our gardens too. And so if we are not seeing people of color as people of color, then we are actually denying their differences and the nuances. So we've talked about this and we'll continue to talk about it, right? And so we want to honor people and who they are and where they came from and what they went through and what brought the individual to this experience today, you know? Our different life experiences make us different from each other, and the concept of color blindness excludes those differences. So continuing along with that garden analogy, there would be only one type of flower in the garden without any variation in color. Imagine that. One flower. And that is what homogeneity is. We live in a world, though, that is abundantly diverse, with each of us expressing the divine in our own colorful and unique way, right? And so how beautiful and magnificent is that? And so sometimes it can be confusing as far as in our teaching, because what we believe is that there's only one thing happening here and now, and it is God, yes? And so as we believe that, then we're told to actually see the differences in each other. And so it's out of respect, right? It's this ohana thing. We'll bring our ohana into it, which is we will observe, we will honor, we will admire, notice, and appreciate our family, our human family, and love each other for all of the amazing various qualities that we have. And religious science teaches that each person is a unique expression of God, created with sacred worth. Living from that awareness has the potential to transform our lives and the world. And color blindness is actually antithetical to this idea. So we want to avoid that. And there's a great quote by Ernest Holmes in the book Beverly Hills Lectures, which was written in 1952, as follows. Unity and uniformity are not the same thing. No two blades of grass are alike. What does it mean spiritually? We have nothing to disprove and everything to prove that this individualization of the spirit in each one of us, rooted in common soil, having the characteristics and potentialities of its common background, contains what the ancients called the microcosm. We have every reason to suppose that there is back and within and around every individual the divine representation of himself as the Son of God, forever and ever expanding. And so it is, right? So I just love that quote. And you know, we're called to remember that oneness is not sameness. We talked about that in the first week. Oneness does not equal sameness. There's only one God. We are all connected. We have this Ubuntu, and we say Sawubona, which is I see you. I see you and your different hair color and your different, the way your body is configured. And I see you. I see the skin color that is slightly different or completely different. I see you, right? Really being seen. What is it like to really be seen by another human being? You know, it's more than just seeing with the eyes. There's this experience of feeling, and to consider and imagine all of the complexity that people bring to the table from their lives, right? Like if somebody were to approach me right now, there's like 4 bazillion things about me that they might just feel that energy, you know, just like, but there's just so much happening, you know, and there's so many complex aspects about me in my life today. And so imagine going all the way back, right? And the same is true for each one of us. And so we're honoring those experiences of ourselves. And we had this amazing book study of white fragility, and the author really addressed being colorblind in that too. And it's that sense of when people say, oh, I don't see color, I see everyone the same. And so we're growing out of that, you know. Before, it may have been taught to us like it was a good thing to be colorblind and to see everybody as equal. So we want to see everybody as equal and acknowledge our differences. Can we be equal and be different?
Oh yeah, I love color rich.
Yes. And so, yeah, colorful, right? And I always go back to this garden as the metaphor for diversity, inclusion, and oneness, because it just explains it so well regarding diversity, inclusion, and oneness. If you imagine a garden containing various vegetation like fruits and vegetables, flowers and foliage and trees, and all the vegetation needs a specific type of environment, right, to flourish. They need a suitable pH, a healthy level of air, aeration, and sound nutrients. You know, some plants, well, actually all plants need sun, shade, nutrients, soil, water, and care. but some of them require indirect sunlight. Some of them like to be right in the sun. Some like to be watered daily. Some like to be watered every other day, you know, and so is this experience of our lives, right? And so paying attention and tuning in, you begin to see and learn what works and what doesn't work. So I love that nature shows us the diversified forms and expressions of common life. So if you want to begin to notice diversity, you can start right now. I invite you to actually begin today. So if you go out for a walk, you can notice the diverse nature of the trees and the different grasses, the different homes, the diverse nature of vehicles, right? There's cars and trucks and there's boats and so many different types of boats. Just notice and then as you notice the diverse nature of all of the different objects, you will be moving into a mindset of really honoring and being available to honor the diverse nature of all the humans running around this planet right now, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So while one subset of inclusive behaviors work for one person, and another person may not respond to that inclusive behavior. So the invitation for us is to consider, you know, do we have friends and family in our lives who are people of color? You know, maybe they are Black or African American or otherwise Black, Indigenous, person of color. They call that BIPOC. Do we have friends who we haven't really even brought up the topic of race with them, or have we approached a conversation where we were able to say, how are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? What do I need to know, or whatever the words are that come to you, you know, ask how they're doing. See how they're feeling in this time, you know? And so we're also called to remember that we are connected. There is this concept, philosophy called Ubuntu, and we're going to pull this Ubuntu into our lives and realize and remember that we are all connected. We're connected with those who are different as we are connected with those who are exactly similar to us. Now, if we are really interested in imbuing oneness, we need to be with other people who are different from us in order to experience a loving and unified relationship with God. So love pushes us all to widen our circle of inclusion and to reach out to others who are different from us. We shouldn't assume that we all think, believe, pray, sing, dress, talk, or behave exactly like us. In fact, we are challenged to embrace the differences, embrace them, embrace the disagreements and the uniqueness and all of that. Why? Because in that kind of inclusive and diverse and authentic way, we get a glimpse of what oneness truly is. And so, my friends, that is what I'm leaving you with here today. We might be ending on time. Imagine that. No, we'll go a few minutes over. But thank you. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. And remember to practice Ubuntu and to not be red, but give it some gas instead. Okay, let's pray. So turning our attention inward in this moment, we return to this beautiful, expansive space within. And this is the space where I absolutely know that God is all that there is. It's all that there ever was and all that there ever will be. And I'm so grateful in this moment for the Goddess that is expressing in my life, in me, through me, and as me. I'm so grateful to remember that I am a soul with a body, and this soul has landed in this body for such a time as this. And as I see that and recognize that, I become fully aware that there is something that wants to be birthed through me and as me, and I allow it to be. And so every day in every way, I know that I am getting better and better. And that Spirit is whispering to me always, I see you. I see you, my beloved. And I know that I am seen by this invisible presence. And knowing that I am seen allows me to feel the comfort and sense of love and presence of the divine that is inherently my birthright, and it is yours too. And so I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful that we can each put down any resistance, any need to dwell in sympathy, and anything that is hindering or blocking us from experiencing the beautiful, loving nature of the divine that is here right now. So we let go of resistance, and we let go of, what was the E? I can't even remember. I already let go of it. I let go of it so hard. It's gone. The E is gone. So resistance, E, and dwelling in sympathy. We don't need that. What we need where we are going is gratitude, acceptance, and surrender. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful for this time together. I'm so grateful for this beautiful, magnificent day. And I accept my life exactly as it is and exactly as it is not. And I surrender. And what comes to mind whenever I think of surrender is the great, I think it's Rumi. It's either Rumi or Hafez, but it's that poem that says, do you want to know the difference between your experience and that of a saint? And the difference is that the individual experience is looking and so focused on the next most important move. And the saint is tripping over joy and laughing, saying, I surrender, I surrender. And so I know that we can be tripping over joy in laughter and gratitude and gratitude as we each say, I surrender, I surrender. And there is freedom in that. And I'm grateful for that freedom. And I know that this freedom is mine just as it is yours. And it is so good. So thank you, God, for this beautiful, magnificent day. I know that as we go forward from here, we experience the appreciation of the colorful nature of this world in everything, in the plants and the trees and the rocks, in the flowers and in people and animals and cars and so much more. It is so beautiful and so magnificent, and I am so grateful for all of it. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful. I know that we are so blessed as I send this prayer out into that loving and creative action of the law where I know it is done. I invite you to help me anchor this truth by saying with me, and so it is. Yes. Woo!
That was so beautiful, Rev. Thank you. So we talked a little bit about, well, Rev talked a little bit about release. And she released that E so fast. It was impressive, really. So this is a little Bob Dylan cover to help you release and step into that fullness. They say everything can be replaced, yet every distance is not near. So I remember every face of every man who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west unto the east. Any day now, I shall be released. They say every man needs protection. They say every man must fall. Yet I swear I see my reflection somewhere high above this wall, I see my light come shining from the west unto the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Make that day today. Stands a man in this lonely crowd, a man who swears he's not to blame. All day long I hear him cry out loud, calling out that he's been framed. I see my light come shining from the west unto the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. I see my light come shining from the west unto the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released.
Beautiful. Wow. I love that song. You did it so well. You have such an amazing voice, Jessie. Yay.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being here with us.
It is my pleasure.
Yay. All right, friends. I want to remind you before we move into our benediction or our offering affirmation, I want to remind you that I am going to be on, or Travis and I will be on vacation for the next 2 weeks, the next 2 Sundays, and we've got some amazing speakers and musicians lined up for you. We've got Reverend Sharon Dunn and Gary Lynn Floyd next Sunday. And then the following Sunday, we've got the amazing Reverend Diane Davison. And who's our musician that day?
That's
Mark Stanton Welch. So fabulous. And so I'm knowing that while we're gone, you're going to continue to support these beautiful souls and our center. And I really appreciate that so much. And I'm so grateful for those of you that have continued to support us through this time. I know it's challenging and we're all moving through the unknown and the uncertainty, but we are very, very blessed and fortunate for those of you who are tithing on a regular basis and have those auto payments and PayPal set up. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. We really appreciate you. And so with that, we appreciate your donations today. We lovingly and graciously accept them. And you can use the donate button here on Facebook, or you can use the PayPal. It's paypal.me/CCCSL love, which is also in the comments. I believe it's pinned there. And if you don't like those, you could mail a check or reach out to Gina, who's our treasurer, to find out other ways to donate. And so the giving affirmation, won't you please repeat after me? From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world
It does great work in the world
and returns to me multiplied
and it
abundantly.
returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
So it is.
Woohoo! Yes. Big love to Jesse. We're getting a lot of love again in the comments. Thank you,
Woo!
Jesse. We love you. Thank
Mwah.
you, Charlie, for the reading. Yeah, thank you, Gina, for your production mastery. Thank you, Travis, for everything that you do for us, and Reverend Diane for your prayer, and everyone. We're so blessed. Life is amazing. And won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always. And all you ever need to do is to look within. And it is here you will find you are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. And please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in
Life
my
is in my
mind.
Life is in my body.
Life
Life
is
is
in
in
my
my
body.
body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my relationships.
Life
Life is in my relationship.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I
feel
feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is,
Just the way that it is.
and just the way that it is not.
And
And
just the way that
it
it
is
is
not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
So it is.
Woohoo!
My new wife.
We'll be
Aw.
married next time we see you.
Thank you, wife.
Wife.
Hey, Jesse, would you like to take us out with a little something?
Oh, sure. Should we do Goddess again?
Yeah, a little reprise of Goddess would be cool.
Sure.
And while Jesse's doing that, I'm going to put in the comments here where we could go to coffee and conversation if you want to join up with us on Zoom. Jess, will you be able to join us over there
Yes,
for a little bit?
I will be there, yes.
Oh, good. So you can all love up on Jesse. There's a lot of love going on in the comments for sure. So that's awesome. All right. Jesse, take us out.
Here we go. It's hard enough to be just me. Rule my world from a place of reverie. Forgive myself unconditionally and learn from my mistakes. But then the movies tell me I should look like her and laugh like her. If I'm a quiet beauty, all will surely fall in love with me. But the people who love me best like the way I laugh, and they don't care what I wear. They rather see me loud and proud than stay polite and pretty. And they say, you are what you are, and that's all you'll ever need. Strong like a warrior, and soft as a sunbeam. Everything you've ever been, and everything you'll ever be is holy, 'cause you are holy, and your life is holy, and your days are holy, and your mind is holy, and your body is holy, and your tears are holy, and your laugh is holy, and your love is holy. You are a goddess, baby. You are. Everyone is a goddess on the inside, and a god, if I didn't mention that before. You are. You are. You are. You are a goddess and a god. You are a goddess and a god. You are everything and everyone, 'cause you're the whole universe, and isn't it fun?